Right. And today we're actually going to be talking about our tool belts, which ones we're using regularly, and then kind of give a brief overview of what we have in them.
This is my rig.
Right.
I picked it up last year. Probably for about 19 years. I wore it to DeWalt. And
you wore a DeWalt rig?
Yeah.
They made them?
Yeah. Okay. I wore it for just about 19 years, and I actually upgraded because I wanted the suspenders. I just didn't want all that pain on my lower back. So with the Diamondback belt, they have this nice 6-inch back brace. Really comfortable, really handy, non-sliding. And then the suspenders have just been phenomenal. So
there's a lot of stuff in there.
Wow, that's you traveling light budget.
This is I've actually taken stuff out. I have.
Well, hold on. I mean, you've got a staple gun. How often do you use a staple?
Oh my gosh.
Well, when I'm framing, it comes in very handy with the building paper or putting up temporary paper.
You got this too.
These I just kind of added. I didn't even label them yet.
I think it seems to me like you just loaded that thing up with stuff to make it look
I still got
like
extra room in pockets, but I just didn't fully load it.
Do you think Mike threw every tool he owned in here?
He did.
So he could show everybody in the world.
I just wanted to show off the tools tonight.
It seems like.
But I use these 3 pouches for fasteners. Right now I'm carrying a bunch of GRK and Cortex plugs.
Right?
Yes.
That's on your left side?
It's on my left side.
Yep. Okay.
So I keep this side's for fasteners, this side's for tools. Still a learning curve for me with using this because coming from that DeWalt belt, that thing was great, and that belt was free when I bought a DeWalt compressor back in 1999.
Well, tell us about the hammer holster you've got there. Can you maybe pull it up a little bit and show folks how it works?
With this Diamondback rig, the hammer holster, instead of being right in the center of my back like it used to be, it's now on the side, and it actually works very well, even for when you're using the bigger style framing hammers. And you just throw it right on the side of you.
I love that, by the way.
It's a great feature.
It's 45 degrees. It's out of the way. It's not. I used to hate when the handle would whack on my kneecap or something, where you'd put it behind you in the loop behind you, and it would hit you the back of your butt. It was annoying as hell.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that a lot. There's also one. Do you have the one for the pry bar?
No, because
I have it, but I don't like it.
I don't use the. If I'm using the pry bar, I carry the mini one. I don't even know it's there. But
how old is this bag? It looks like it's in reasonably good shape.
I just purchased this last May.
So
just about a year old.
Yeah. Okay.
Took a little while to find that. I talked to Connor about finding that sweet spot on these here.
It was annoying as hell, wasn't it?
Until I found that sweet spot, these things are now.
So let's talk about that for a second, guys. Suspenders?
I tried them for a little while. I can't.
Suspenders?
I can't get into them.
Yeah.
Suspenders. So 3 to 1. I just started doing the suspenders or the shoulder rig or whatever the hell they call it. A year ago, I guess. Yeah. Took me 27, 28 years to get there, but
how do they function when you're up and down a lot? Like
well, so here's the deal. The way I rigged it is the belt actually doesn't hit my hips anymore. It used to hang on my hips.
Okay.
Now it hangs on the suspenders. They're off my hips.
So you're leaving the belt loose?
No, the belt.
So it just sort of floats?
The belt's snug to loose.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The annoying thing is adjusting it in the winter for the winter clothing, and then adjusting it in the summer for no coat, no sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. But I think what I think is it's taken me a long time to find it, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't find it sooner because it's so less fatiguing at the end of the day with the suspenders. But you do sometimes get a little chafing here. Yep. If you're moving your shoulder a certain way, you get a little cut in. It took me a long time to get them adjusted because there's a weird strap system here, and it's genius design. But you really got to find the sweet spot, otherwise it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It took a while to find that, but it's comfortable. I could wear it all day long and take it off at the end of the day, and I have no pains, no aches, and didn't even know I wore it all day.
So, I'm carrying an Occidental. I've had this for about 10 years, I think. Yeah, it's the vinyl style. This is a pouch for, I think, like a combination square or something.
Okay.
I don't really use it. What I have in my pouch regularly is pretty much what you see here, the basics about it. And it seemed ridiculous, but this is how I carry my hammer now in my pouch regularly. And I don't. The thing I like about this setup versus what I'm seeing a lot of the Diamondbacks and the Badgers and all that. the bags aren't really deep, so I'm not reaching down really far to get things.
That's true. This is all horizontal placement. It's
Yeah,
all
it's
in one
all
plane.
right there.
Yeah.
Other thing I love about this belt, and one of the reasons that I wanted it, was because of the square holder. It's just a little seam in between two sets of bags, and
I love that. I have that in my old belt. The thing I have a Diamondback setup, and I don't have that now. And I drop my square 3 times a day, and unless I get it in and set just the right way, it pops out. I pull it out when I'm pulling something else out, or I'm bending over and something hits it, and it infuriates me.
I like to have it.
So here's a question for you. Everything in its place, in the same place.
Every
all
time.
So that you can reach for it without looking, it's
Perfect
there.
example. Yeah. So for 10 years, that's what I really like about this kit, this setup, is that there's a place for those things, and it's just mindless. Like, I don't even need to.
Well, that's the whole point.
Think about
it's almost like muscle memory.
Exactly. No, it's
like I can holster the whole hammer without looking. I can reach for my utility knife without looking. My pencil usually is in the same spot, or now I have a couple other spots with the suspenders. But that is a huge efficiency thing. If you've got to stop what you're doing every time and look down, or if you're measuring and you want to mark something and you're going to look down, you might move the tape. It just makes sense.
On that note, I always keep a pair of side cutters for breaking off finish nails and anything that you
Mike's
can't
gonna
pull.
go out and buy one of those spring setups right now. His eyes are glazed over looking at it. I'm getting one of those.
You lost me.
I'll keep this and hold on to this for you.
One more thing in Mike's tool belt. He's just gonna add another 3
I got room for that.
And I love this setup. This is my framing rig. I've got totes for doing trim work because they don't want me wearing bags. And yeah, pretty comprehensive. I've got my drill holder in the back. I use the front nail loop, hammer loop.
That's lefty setup.
This is a lefty setup.
Okay.
I'm left-handed, and that was why I got these bags originally, because when we got these...
So explain to me, because I didn't realize left and right. There's Joe.
How's it going, boys?
Good, how you doing?
What's up, Joe?
What are we talking about over here besides that heavy thing?
Joe's not a fan of.
Joe, have you ever seen anything as heavy as that bag? Besides full of nails?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that probably weighs about upwards of 75 pounds.
You may be exaggerating slightly, but only slightly. Keep stuff.
So your suspenders as well.
Yeah, off and on. If I'm working overhead a lot, I'll take them off because then it chafes on the shoulders.
So show that to the camera so the guys see that rig you've got, that gun rig.
Yep.
So he's got this impact driver screw gun rig. Looks like a freaking holster.
It's got a holster right in the back.
So I'm more like a backpacker. I like lightweight. I like to really stay light. Joe, what do you carry?
Over there.
So Joe is going to tell us what rig he's using. Joe does primarily, he's a framing Joe's a carpenter, but he does primarily framing. And Joe, tell us about your rig.
I used my collaboration with Badger tool belts. It's called the Bearded Badger.
Bag is...
Oh my God, another huge rig.
No, it's not that huge. My bag is... no, I have the Rangel.
Yeah, you have Rangel and
Elias.
Elias, right?
And Elias. So this was the hardest thing for me to get comfortable with.
Yep.
I had to. It really is. You got to dial in and find the right sweet spot. It took me.
Yes.
Took me about 2 months. In fact, I took it off. Remember?
Yeah.
I gave up on it, and you were like, "You sure you don't want to try?" And Mike helped me kind of find a better spot for it, and now it doesn't bother me. And I really do love this. I love that. As far as features on my bags that I like about these Diamondbacks, I think probably my favorite feature is the hammer sleeve.
Oh yeah.
I also have a sleeve on the other one for a what do they call it? Flat bar holster, and I don't use it a lot. But when I do find myself using it, I'm typically on a ladder, so I don't want to drop it or whatever. So I end up using it. But what I find is if I'm walking with it normally, the I can put the pry bar facing away or facing in, depending on how I put it in. It can dig into me, and I don't like that. So I don't typically use it.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I ended up taking it off. My main thing was I wanted it for my cat's paw nail puller.
Yep.
I took it off because I kept dropping it because there was no possible way for me to pitch it under my bag properly to keep it from falling out no matter what position I was in. Whereas on the bearded badger, I actually had it sewn onto the bag itself, so it's permanently pitched. I don't have to worry about it. It stays under there, no problem.
As far as flat bars, I just throw them in the pockets. I mean, I keep two. One's more of a finished bar, one's a framing bar. And I just fit them in. I find a pocket for them and they just live there. But I like the idea of the sleeve.
Two cat's paws, very well used. I don't know, Rob. What are you doing? What are you doing all day?
Pulling a lot of nails.
I don't know how you guys are giving me so much of a hard time about all the tools.
Wait a minute, I'm a
carrying.
remodeler. I'm always taking things
Fair,
apart.
okay,
You know,
okay.
pressure on one, pulling.
He was wrecking some stuff is what he was doing.
Joe, in remodeling, we first demo to rebuild. You know that. So
Get a sledgehammer.
There you go.
the only thing I want to say negatively about my bags, and I love this rig, I really do, is that they're long. So this bag here, this pocket here, and this pocket here, I can't really reach without kind of doing this. So it's not a comfortable reach.
Your bags are too low.
So what I ended up doing is this is PPE. I have my glasses, my earplugs, and I have a tourniquet. And you know, I should be able to reach the tourniquet, ice fist, but that's these are my bags. Guys, leave a comment for us, for Joe, for us, for Chris, or anybody. Leave us some comments about what kind of questions. What kind of bags are you carrying? There's a picture of Joe's bag.
Stop.
So one of the comments asked me how fast I can slap on that tourniquet. Pretty damn fast. I've practiced it. I think about it. I actually did a video on it. It's on YouTube. And if you buy a tourniquet and don't practice it, you might as well just throw it in the bucket. Because under stress, your fine motor skills go, your hands start to shake, you're freaking out maybe, or the other person's freaking out. So you've got to get the learning curves out of the way so that when the shit hits the fan, you can put that thing on. Arm, leg, whatever. Just don't put it on the neck, Joe.
Absolutely.
I think one thing I want to say is if anybody out there is new to the trades and is trying to figure out whether you should invest in one or not, my recommendation, you guys can chime in, my recommendation would be to definitely, it's worth investing in a good set of bags, I think.
What do you guys think about those vests? I see the advertisements on Instagram of the Atlas vest. Usually it's a dude with the muscles and the no shirt. But who?
That was me.
Was that you? I actually thought it was Kiefer's brother. Actually, it looks like a lot like him. What do you guys think about the vest?